Hey guys, check it out. I'm all moved into my brand new room. And they even have the Christmas tree up. However, it wasn't exactly the room that I was expecting. Ho ho ho, Merry Christmas. What up guys, Total Control 871. And I'm coming to you today with rather sad and upsetting news. The room deal fell through rather dramatically, not dramatically, but catastrophically. The room deal fell through. I don't know, however way you want to call it. What can I say? Looks like Hotel Walmart isn't quite done with me yet. Alright, so I guess you're probably wondering what the hell happened. I think I said, I don't know if I had said it in, it may have been in the missing episode, because there was an episode that I recorded there during my weekend trial visit that I still have yet to upload. I don't know if I'll upload it or not. All those wonderful gifts that they showered me with. Always beware of people who come into your life bearing gifts. They can be a little, Anyway, so what happened, right? Okay. So, when I first made contact with this organization, which, by the way, I wasn't going to use its name, but because of how it has handled its business, how it has engaged in shady business practices, a lot of very, very blatant bait and switch tactics, I am going to use it. Just like I blew the whistle on Jewish Family Services, I'm also going to be blowing the whistle on community enterprise. Community enterprise what? It's two different sides to it. There's the support mental health side. That's what is it? Collaborative services, something like that. Collaborative support services. Um, and then there's a community enterprise. We'll just call them community enterprise. And my caseworker, India. Everything seemed pleasant enough upon the initial. Like I said, I met with her. We did some preliminary paperwork in the office. Um, she took me to see the place, and I was like, okay, well, doable, you know. Then we went to the office and to do some preliminary paperwork, which ultimately resulted in scheduling the weekend visit. And during this preliminary during this preliminary paperwork, that's when I was told about a lot of things. I was told that this was month to month, that you can just simply leave on 30 days' notice. What ended up turning out was that it's a year contract lease. And what they ultimately, because I was shown the lease today, and it became very obvious that the bulk of their clients are people who just simply, show me where I sign, and just sign, wherever they tell them to. Um, there was a lot that they weren't expecting from me. I'm trying to go in the sequence of order here, so that you're not wondering what the hell happened. But I also want to get to the meat and potatoes too. But anyway, so during the preliminary paperwork, that's where I was told about dollar matching. That's where I was told about the resource side, if you want to call it that, the mental health resource side. Have to forgive me. Winter mold, yay. But yeah, so and there during that, I was like, okay, well, because I wanted to see if I could spare myself the cost of a bank issued money order. I don't like to use corner store money orders. Think about that for a second. If you were to have an issue with somebody claiming that they didn't get your money order and you prove it, have you ever stopped to think about how you would go about proving it? I mean, you'd have to, number one, hopefully you still have the stub of the money order. You may or may not have it. And, calling the number on it. Is the number on it? How would you get in contact with the people who facilitate this financial transaction? So, just one day it kind of dawned on me, how would I even go about following up on a money order that somebody claimed they didn't get, either in the mail or whatever the case may be. It would be very difficult. And yes, a lot of those corner store money orders, they get routed around in some really funky ways. You'd be surprised as to who the banks. A lot of them are offshores. It's all very quasi. You know how Vonage, landline, phone. People used to joke and call it the terrorist phone because it was like really dodgy as to who owns this and how But yeah, it's probably real dodgy with the whole corner store money order. So I used to always deal with my bank. They cost something like $5 or $6, very expensive, but peace of mind. Went to the bank today, found out they haven't been issuing money orders for like over a year, and they no longer do it. They only do cashier's checks, bank issued checks, and stuff like $15 each. Yeah, no, I'm not paying $30 to give you money. Um, so I was during the preliminary paperwork. I'm asking, okay, so I want to hurry up and get to my bank and load you onto my pay because it's online banking, online bill pay, and I can go online and have a physical check cut and sent through the mail to you. It's not handwritten; it's professional check and whatnot, sent to you. And then she was like, India was like, "Oh no, you don't have to worry about any of that. We'll go over how who you pay and we'll do all that when you get your lease." So I'm like, okay, all right. So there was a lot of information that was withheld from me. I don't know if I said in one of my previous episodes that everything done thus far, it's very, very paper trail. They definitely went out of their way to generate as much paperwork as they can so they can bill the state. Even if I don't take the room, which I ended up not taking, at least they can bill the state for as much as they possibly can. Because you would think that the money thing would have been the first thing. Why in the world would you initiate startup? I've been to see their clinician, like it was either once or twice thus far. So they have all this paperwork, a treatment plan worked up, goals. What kind of goals do you have in life, and a whole bunch of stupid shit like that. It's just a bunch of paperwork, documentation for how they can bill the state for your medical services. I'll talk more about that in just a moment. Anyway, so you would have thought they would have gotten the money thing straightened out first, but apparently not. Um, anyway, so they come back with the quote. Yeah, after the weekend visit, they come back with the quote. I'm pushing past everything, the flooding, loud, boisterous roommate. And I'm trying not to be persnickety here. I've rented for 25 years. It's so I'm pushing past everything, trying my best, but so anyway, today after our weekend visit, after a strange period where, because why can't you just tell me how much the rent is? Anyway, however, I will say this: my portion of the rent to pay, it actually came out, because I want to be as fair as I can to community enterprise, and this isn't a slam job. I am reporting fair and accurate. It turned out, I forget the exact thing, but it was like about $30 less than I thought that I would have to pay. I was like, all right, cool. And of course, the promise of the dollar matching and everything. So then they, after they called me, told me the price of the rent, and they then said that, okay, well, your first month will be prorated. We'll bring you in on the middle of the month, and I'm like, okay. But then tonight, like 4 o'clock tonight, when I went to meet with India to do the walkthrough. Okay, now the purpose of the walkthrough is to document any damage that's pre-existing, or any uh any parts of the home that are not working or lacking. The whole purpose of it now. And I told her during the preliminary paperwork visit that, okay, when we go to do the walkthrough, I'll be taking pictures. That way there won't be any kind of confusion. Tonight, as I was doing the walkthrough with her, taking my pictures, just taking pictures. Okay, taking pictures of the floor, the walls, of this, of that. And she goes, um, uh, uh, Mr. Dunbar, is there a reason why you're taking these pictures? I'm like, I didn't quite understand why she would be asking such a glaringly obvious question. Um, this is the walkthrough, India. This is where we document all the damage that was pre-existing. Okay? And at this point, she's kind of starting to put me on the defensive. And I say, well, yeah, so I'm taking pictures of the steps. They didn't put any kind of a traction thing down. I've mentioned the traction issue a number of times. At the end of the weekend visit, one of the first things out of my mouth to India was that, I almost slipped here. I kind of pulled a groin muscle. And now all of a sudden that we're doing the actual walkthrough and I'm documenting all this, because she's doing her written document, but because I was taking pictures of everything, she started to get very nervous, and she goes, "Okay, well, you keep using this word liability and everything. Keep using? I didn't use the word liability. Well, number one, I only used it once when you asked me why I am taking these pictures, because I don't want to be held liable for pre-existing damage. I am doing this to protect my security deposit." And I literally said to her, India, I mean, I don't know where you live or how you live, but if you're renting, didn't you do this? Didn't you take pictures of your apartment wherever you live? Anyway, so she goes, well, listen, I don't want to be in any of these pictures. Okay, well, I wasn't taking pictures of you. I'm taking pictures of the home. And as long as you don't walk in front of the camera when I'm taking the picture, then you won't be in it. Things started getting very, very strange during this walkthrough tonight. She started getting more kind of nervous, uneasy about the fact that I was documenting the home's lacking. The home does not have a fire extinguisher. There's a lot here, because she stopped me and she was like, it sounds like you're just trying to set things up for like a lawsuit or something. And I was like, no. If I was going to set up for a lawsuit, I would have already gone and been to see a personal injury attorney. I've already slipped on your steps and injured myself. Okay? If I didn't go then okay? Obvious. why people seem to think that I'm so goddamn sue happy and that I'm just so lusting over a lawsuit. I don't understand. Let me check my time here. 15. 33-minute phone. So yeah, anyway, so we're doing the walkthrough and everything, and we sit down with the lease. And again, it became very, very clear that she was used to dealing with clients that just simply, show me where to sign, show me where to, no, this was a fairly, I didn't really count every page. I'd say this was something like maybe a 20-page lease that goes through everything. And first thing that struck my eye was that she finally shows me how the checks are to be paid. She's saying money orders. She still doesn't understand that I have no intention whatsoever of paying a money order every last single month. I ultimately showed up with two two money orders from the post office, and so there I was, all locked and loaded, got my money orders, ready, doing the walkthrough, which she was so nervous about, lease in front of me. And then I see that, I won't say the name of the street, because their home, because they own a collection of home, community enterprises, a collection of homes. And I guess each home is named after the street it's on. So again, to protect any kind of anonymity for the residents that are currently there, I won't use their street name. So we'll just use a quick pseudonym. We'll just say English Creek, because English Creek is a fairly popular road here in South Jersey. It's in Egg Harbor Township, matter of fact. So if this house was on English Creek Road, it would then be called English Creek, the English Creek House. Okay. However, now, like I said, the name of the two businesses that run this whole venture is Collaborative Supportive Living, or something like that, and Community Enterprises. That's on the letterhead of the lease, okay? And it has in air quotes, we'll just say English Creek, okay? Even though that wasn't the name of the street, but we'll say English Creek, right? So, and I stop her, because she's showing me that the way you'll be paying this is English Creek at an anonymous post office box. English Creek post office box, whatever the number was, yada yada. There is absolutely nothing about the person, entity that I am paying. There's nothing there that protects me. Were something to happen, I would show up at court with bank records that say, "Hi, Your Honor. Yeah, here are my bank records for my rent that I've been paying at English Creek, sent to whatever." I mean, literally, I could be cutting checks and sending it to myself. Okay? I mean, it's not the name of your business. I could be cutting checks and sending them to myself at an anonymous post office box. Where is the irrefutable proof that I am paying community enterprises? Where? Okay? Because it's getting very, very weird and dodgy. And so she goes on to say, well, no, because it's, in the lease, you have to read the lease. The lease, it says that, Egg Harbor, English Creek is the name of. So I try to say to her, I'm trying to give her the benefit of the doubt here now. Okay, so is it kind of like how in legal paperwork, like when I did I do have a video, Will. It's set on private on YouTube. In it, I say what is to become of the Black Rider, and of course, I just can't say the Black Rider because I'm speaking in legal terms. I say a 2015 my 2015 surly ogre, uh, hereby to be referred to as the Black Rider. So as I continue on in my video, I can say Black Rider instead of having to say the whole big long thing, 2015 surly ogre. I can just say Black Rider because I said in the video, from here on out, it shall be referred to as the Black Rider. So I'm looking for that kind of language in this lease. Okay, so this is Community Enterprises home to be referred to as, English Creek. That language was never there. It's just simply English Creek at this post office box. How does this name and this post office box connect to you, the corporation? Then came the money. Exploded the budget here. There I was with my 2 money orders and whatnot. The prorated rate, at $175 prorated rate. By the way, the government paid in their subsidized part was $500 some dollars. So they were getting some nice change for these rooms. Anyway, that's not the topic of the video. So there I am, my prorated rate money order of $175, and the security was the 1 month, and they break it into 3 increments. So I also had the security, my first slice of security, and my first third of security. So then they go on to tell me that the rent is due on the 1st of every month. I'm like, the 1st of every month? Hold on here. That means here we are in the middle of November. I would have to come up with hundreds of dollars during my worst time of the month, because it's always the end of the month whenever I got to reach out to my to a buddy or something to borrow a couple of bucks. It's always going to be at the beginning of the month because my disability pays on the 2nd Wednesday of every month. I'm running on fumes, man, when you're talking about wanting full rent plus the next third of the security deposit. Dude, you should have told me all this from the beginning, okay? I logged something. Oh these people had me riding. Although, because I want to continue to be fair to community enterprises and collaborative supportive living. They do have vans, and they did indeed offer to transport me at no expense or no cost to me. But I don't like being inside vehicles. Yeah, shocker, the fat man doesn't like being driven. But you guys have me all figured out, talking to my trolls now. You guys got me all figured out. Oh, okay. Grifter, fat fuck, lazy, doesn't want to work. Right. Because everybody knows lazy people always use bicycles as their means of transportation. Speaking of which, I logged a whole bunch of miles today. This was supposed to have been the move-in. I'm just coming back from it, and I'm just loaded to the hilt. We see that I had my interlocking foam for the Black Rider to sit upon, kind of like how that mat right there is. Because that's what I was also trying to tell India. I understand you need to protect your business. I can respect that. But you're going to have to respect that I need to protect my interest. And you're acting extremely strange. Who doesn't? Of course, I can tell you who doesn't do walkthroughs. People who have mental health issues, and you, the corporation. Tell you what, I'm not going to say community enterprises takes advantage of them. I can't speak for their other clients. I can only speak for me, okay? Because it seemed like they were definitely trying to take advantage of me, thinking that, okay, this is just some wackadoo dude. He'll fall in line and sign where we tell him to sign and do what we tell him to do, just like all the rest of the clients. Anyway, logged a lot of miles. Christ almighty. Hauling the trailer. The Black Rider is not in good shape. Oh, man. Number one, let's see it. Can you see that? Yeah. Bottom bracket is shot. Okay. Number two. Yeah. Yay. Broken spoke. Yay. Who doesn't love a broken spoke, right? Number three. Yep. The bead of the tire starting to, I think it might be worse on the other side, I think. Or is it? Might be worse up there too. Anyway, I need new tires. I need new tires. The back wheel still has to get rebuilt. These are all things that were low. As you guys know, I'm constantly compartmentalizing the trauma of my life, putting things in order. And unfortunately, a lot of things that I have been deferring on the low priority list for a while, for several months, have been slowly eking their way up the list, and now it has to be addressed. I got to take the Black Rider in. So I'm logging these miles. I'm flirting, dangerously flirting with a massive blowout because the bead of the tire is not good. Okay, so I'm riding a wheel with a broken spoke. The tire's going on it. I need new tires. The tread still. Sorry. The tread still's got some life on it, but it's the bead that tends to wear first. Oh, 27. All right. So yeah, this whole thing just simply So I need cables. I'm double shifting to move one gear. The cables, bottom bracket, wheel rebuilt, new tires. That is what the Black Rider needs. Black Rider needs more than that too, but that's what's needed for right now. I'm upset. I'm also very angry. All of this could have. You had me riding around South fucking Jersey when you just could have said all this shit from the beginning. But of course you didn't. And you didn't because you want to create your paper trail for your services, to bill the state for having done this, that, and the other. And unfortunately, what I also want to make known is that by my being, I can't possibly say yes to this room, okay? Cryptic payee, I'm paying a cryptic address. The move-in amount is way more than what was tabulated, and the lease is not month to month. Not month to month. It is indeed a contract year, and what ultimately India confessed was that, well, we just don't enforce that usually. Why the fuck didn't you say this? All right? Why are you playing games with people, all right? Bait and switch. predatory business practices. I'm supposed to just trust that if I want to leave in the middle of the lease, that I can just simply walk away. They'll let me have my security deposit and not go after me financially for the remainder of the lease and end up in court. See, I don't know what time have I got here. 30. All right, I got to wrap this now. I know you guys hear me talk about sometimes my pop. I showed up at his door, took one look at me, gave me $150, told me catch the Greyhound anywhere from here. What I may have mentioned it once before, but I showed up on his door because I lost everything in a very bad apartment deal. I was working at Kentucky Fried Chicken, co-worker, my name, not on the lease. He skips out on the lease. I return home. Everything is locked. I can't get anything. I had spent a weekend at a friend's house. I had a weekend overnight bag, a weekend bag with a couple of clothes in it. That's what I ended up showing up in New Jersey with when he gave me the $150. I had nothing. There's more to that story. But yeah, the point that I'm saying that is that I learned I'm not a perfect man. I make mistakes. But I learn from my mistakes, okay? Just like when I took the credit and say that I screwed up my job here at Walmart, extremely bad attendance. I learned from that mistake. Don't keep making the same mistakes in life, okay? So, what time have I got here? 31. I gotta wrap this now. This phone shuts off at 33. I was extremely upset. They were not forthright. I am not going to venture into a legally binding contract on the hope that they'll honor their word, a word that isn't spoken or written anywhere. And if you do indeed, truly do let people walk away from their lease like this, then why isn't it in writing? Why? I'll tell you why. Because you, community enterprises, are a lying sack of shit. And you have been totally controlled. Total Control 871.